All right. Welcome everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Canada, and we're here with the GTRC group again, and we're here to provide you with some fantastic racing over at Suzuka today. And this is round two of our Silvia Touring Car Championships. Now, unlike last week, when you for that those of you that were watching, you saw we were just having some fun. We were just running some lobbies. We were racing with the community due to a postponed event. But today we're here with an actual championship racing event here for you guys today, as scheduled, and we are over here on GT7 as well, ladies and gentlemen. So. Should be an interesting race here. I mean, Suzuka always provides fantastic racing, and just a few details about the race. Obviously, the guys are going to be running a 60-minute race here today, and it's going to be 3 times tire wear and 3 times fuel consumption, and the drivers are required to use the medium tire only. There's no limit to the amount of tires that the guys can use. There's no limit to the amount of stops that the guys can make. It's just up to strategy and some good, wholesome, family fun racing. What to expect at Suzuka? For those of you that don't know Suzuka, well, Suzuka can do a few things, ladies and gentlemen. Suzuka can provide really great door-to-door racing, side-by-side racing. It can provide a lot of chaos really quickly, or it could provide a really bad day for some drivers. Suzuka's a really, really fun racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. When you get it right, it feels great. You're just on cloud nine. You're just vibing. You're just feeling it. You're rolling, man. The tires are grabbing. The engine's purring. You're just doing your thing, you know. But when it goes wrong, oh, it goes wrong. The one thing that drivers really need to look out for here at Suzuka is the curbing. The rumble strip part of the curbing, so the red and white part of the strips we'll see as the guys who jump out to do qualifying here shortly, is okay to drive on. But on Suzuka, if you get out into that lighter green area outside of the curbing, the artificial turf, so to speak, while on the throttle, well, that's going to start to create a very, very bad day for all the drivers here today. You know what treats you real good? Suzuka treats you really, really, really good when you treat it right, but when you try to cheat it, it makes you pay. So it's going to be hard to say what we're going to see here today, but I mean, the GTRC group here, they always provide us with good racing. So I do suspect we're going to see some great battles up for the podium throughout the race, and there's always beautiful mid-pack battles throughout the whole race as well. So as we can see, we have TPC's Trone Kobe in here, we have Doug Burrow in here, we have Posh Connor, we've got EDA's Monkey Mafia, we've got Hair Razor, who's hosting our lobby here today. We've got Ibra, we've got Pappy 128, and we've got SPG Type R in the field here as well. They're all driving the Group 4 Silvia Touring Car. BOP is on, no tuning allowed, so these guys are all driving the same car. It's the exact same car, so it's going to come down to driver skill here. Strategy and driver skill is what's really going to provide the winners today with the win. So, you guys are going to see a couple of things here. Again, like I said, we are on the new version of Gran Turismo, being Gran Turismo 7. It was released a few months ago. We're going to see a few things here today. You're going to see cars bouncing around or glitching, stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's just normal right now, ladies and gentlemen. So there's nothing that we could do as racers or players of the game to make that go away. So that's just going to be another factor for the drivers as well while they're on track here today. While racing around Suzuka, is they have to deal with cars moving around a little more unnaturally, so to speak, you know, side to side, where a car doesn't move side to side. And that's the electronic part of esports racing, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the mercy of internet connections, we're at the mercy of servers, we're at the mercy of, well, Mother Nature, really. The weather plays a pretty big factor in our connection sometimes as well. So, lots of things. So just another thing for these drivers that they have to deal with here today at Suzuka. But as you can see, these guys are just cruising around here. So we got Posh Connor here set in a second. We got Ibra here in first. So Ibra's technically on his official hot lap here right now. Well, we're going to give you guys the juicy camera angles while we can, because as soon as the free practice or qualifying is over, we lose our camera angles for some reason now here in GT7 as well. So a few issues within our commentating modes as well here, unfortunately, in the game. So you guys will get a TV camera view of the race, the whole race, but we won't be able to do any fancy, beautiful camera work here for you guys and gals today, unfortunately. We do apologize for you. We're at the mercy of the game right now. You know, they're working on it slowly but surely, and you know, once they get everything sorted out, it's gonna be a special game. It really will be. We're just doing a quick little monitor on the stream to make sure everything's functioning properly and everything's looking pretty good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in and it looks like that your video or your picture feed is grainy or not up to standard on the quality, all you gotta do is tap on your cell phone screen if you're watching on your cell phone. If you're on a PC or something like that, you just hit your settings option, go down to quality, hit advanced, and then you can change your quality to the desired quality that you want to view the stream in. So if you guys are having a little bit of grainy video issues, of course, it's just a YouTube thing. Even though we set our settings to, you know, stream in 1080 or 720 or whatever the video quality availability is, sometimes YouTube just changes it on us, right? So welcome in, everybody. We're not over live on Facebook here today on GT45 Gaming. We're just live over on the YouTube channels here today. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and don't forget to share it out if you're on the GT45 Gaming YouTube channel, as a lot of the guys probably aren't aware that we're live currently here right now. But head over to the GTRC YouTube, GTRC. You just go over to YouTube, search GTRC, and the logo that you guys see in the description on the thumbnail is the logo for the GTRC community's YouTube channel, and their YouTube channel is based solely for all the leagues and events that they do. And all their racing content is on there, all past seasons, all their past races, everything is there on the YouTube channel if you want to catch up on what's going on very early on in this season. There's 2 championships currently running, so next weekend we'll be on board with these guys as they're running their GT3 championship, and we see a mistake made by Pappy. They're just behind Trone there. We got Type R here, nice simple little classic livery rocking there today. Doug's opting with the Falcon livery here today. So, right now we're seeing a pretty big difference in time in qualifying, but again, Suzuka, ladies and gentlemen, it's a tough track. It really is. It has some very technical sectors to it that require a lot of throttle control and just hitting your apexes. And if you miss that apex even in one part of some of these sectors, it just slows you down in your lap. You lose time, and when you're losing time and during a race, well, that means, you know, somebody's putting pressure on you, or somebody's trying to make a move on you. So we're seeing a little bit of difference in times right now between the field, but I'm sure as qualifying progresses, that's going to tighten up here a little bit. So this has been a fun series too. These are, I'm not sure if you guys have had the opportunity to drive one of these GR4 Silvia Touring cars yet, but they're quite fun. I'm not gonna lie, as you see, Doug goes even faster there. He's a second up on second place currently in qualifying Poch Connor. So Doug's showing some pretty good pace here. He's at a 210.94. Now, typically the rule of thumb is, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Group 4 cars are about 9 to 10 seconds slower than a Group 3 car. And a really fast time at Suzuka in Group 3, and I mean fast times, is sub 2 minutes. So when we break it down here right now, Doug is basically right on the cusp of that mark, that sub 2 minute GT3 mark. Just 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, I got a call I gotta take. One moment. Whew, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. It was an important call. That's why I stopped just to take it for a second. So. Alright, so back at it here. We got Doug, who's now only 0.2 of a second up ahead of second place driver currently. Hair Racer here in qualifying. Posh Connor, is that 2? That might be 0.8. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I can't see today, apparently. Posh Connor is 0.8 behind Hair Racer. With a 4/10 second over Monkey Mafia, who has a 1/10 lead over Ibra, who's a second ahead of Pappy, who's a second ahead of Drone, who's a second ahead of Type R. So we got a little bit of spacing here, so pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. And again, it's just due to drivers making mistakes on Suzuka. Suzuka's a really tough racetrack. It's quite technical, but again, when you get it right, it's quick. It's a very fast racetrack. So we're actually seeing some decent stability in our lobby here currently today. Knock on wood. That's the sound of me knocking on wood. Yeah. So that's a good sign, ladies and gentlemen. We're just kind of letting you guys listen to the sounds of the game, you know? Just chilling, enjoy it. There you go. There's some good sound for you. Alright. We's a rocking and we's a rolling. We got Monkey Mafia here, and he's always got very bright, clean liveries, Monkey Mafia. I always enjoy looking at his liveries. I've had the joy of being on track with quite a few of these guys over the last few months as well. Just whether it be in other races or just in lobbies, just chilling, hanging out together. Really good group of guys, these guys here at the GTRC, and they just like to race, they just like to have fun, they like to chill out. But they definitely like some spirited competition as well, so there are definitely open spots available in the series if anybody's interested in running a full-time position in the series here. As we can see, we only have 8 drivers out of the 15 available, so yeah, if you're in GT7 and you want to run GT4 Silvia touring cars for a few weeks, every Saturday at this time, let us know in the comments, either in the GTRC YouTube or the GT45 Gaming YouTube there, and we'll get you dialed in and hooked up with the right people in the right places, and we'll get you signed up. Alright, so it looks like we got one driver finished quality. Everybody's kind of on those final laps here now, so currently, right now, we got Doug sitting provisional pole, we got Hair Razor sitting provisional 2, Posh is sitting provisional 3rd, Ibra's 4th, Monkey's just finishing his lap here now. Camera guy's being a little lazy here. And he doesn't improve at all by the looks of it there, so that will be P5 for Mafia. We got Pappy's coming around here on a hot lap. Little snap-on tools on the side of the car there. What else do we see? The graphics just look amazing on GT7. I mean, the GT7 has one thing going for it right now, ladies and gentlemen. The quality of show of the game. The graphics, the background, the scenery, you know, the progressive time of day, all that stuff. Definitely they have that going for them. I mean, there is a huge positive right there. Is hit the wrong button. We got 5 reds. These guys are waiting for the green. You hear the engines are revving, and it's green. That was a short light, ladies and gentlemen, for a change here. Usually that light's very long at Suzuka, and we're off. And it looks like Doug's got a very great start there. So Doug should come into the first set of corners here, the first sector. Now, this is probably one of the most complicated sectors of the whole racetrack right here. You just got a bunch of sweeping S-curves. And you got to take them at a medium rate of speed for the most part. So the faster you get through them, obviously the better. But Doug in the very early lead here as we got Hair Razor in second place, Posh Connor in third. We got a little bit of a battle going on in the mid-pack here, which obviously we always see at GTRC here. These guys are always battling hard in the middle of the field. With Ibra, Monkey Mafia, Pappy, and Type R currently. So Ibra's just sitting behind Posh in fourth place. He kind of broke away from that mid-pack slightly here, as all these guys are trying to obviously catch up to the driver in front and gain that next position here. But it's just lap one of a very long race. There's a lot of racing left to be done here yet. So keys to the race for the winners today are going to be obviously consistency is going to be huge, a good steady pace, and a pit strategy. I mean, pit strategy is half the battle in racing. You can be having a rough day and have a great pit strategy and still end up with a really great race finish if you got good race strategy and you can just lock it in and be consistent. So that's most likely going to be the keys to the race here. Consistency is going to be the biggest one. The driver that has the most consistency most likely stands the best shot at a win here today, and we'll have to see how it happens here over the next hour. So let's race on, ladies and gentlemen. We got Doug in the lead, but Hair Razor not too far behind. It looked like Hair Razor went a little bit wide there as we're coming around. I don't even know what the corner is called here. Well, you see Posh, Ibra, and Monkey Mafia there just behind the leaders currently. They're starting to battle for that third, fourth, and fifth place positions as well. Not really a battle here, as Hair Razor is just trying to kind of catch up to Doug at the moment. But, yeah, I got no camera angles. I always keep hoping I'm just going to press the button and we got a camera angle for you guys. But unfortunately, we don't have anything besides the TV cameras here currently. So, TV crews, work your magic, guys. Work your magic. You see Hair Razor really made a lot of time up on Doug here. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I know for a fact Doug is a controller driver, a pad driver. He races on controller. So yes, he's on pole. He's very, very quick. And I believe he might have won last week's race. I'd have to go check. But, yeah, he's a quick driver. So all you guys out there in controller, never give up faith, man, because controllers are, you can be just as quick on controller as the guy on wheel. But with that being said, I believe Hair Razor's on a wheel and pedal set while he's racing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you will see Hair Razor gain time on Doug in the corners, especially because the advantage to a wheel and pedal set is exactly that, throttle and braking control. But controller has its own set of advantages as well. So really, it's a personal preference, ladies and gentlemen. Don't feel like you're obligated to go buy a wheel and a set of pedals to play Gran Turismo, because that's absolutely not the case. It is a controller-friendly game by all means, and you don't need to go and make the expense or make the big purchase of a wheel and pedal set and then learn how to play the game on something new if you don't want to. If you want to, by all means, it's a blast, man. It is a ton of fun. Seriously. It just makes, I guess when you're racing with a wheel and pedal set, I guess it makes it more immersive for the player. The person racing in the sim or playing on the racing game, whatever it be, whether it be Gran Turismo or any other sim out there. Yeah, it just makes it more immersive because you're going through the motions. You know, when the car is turning, it's you turning the car. You're turning the car with the wheel, right? It's just more immersive, which makes it more fun. All right, so got a couple laps under the belt now. The drivers are starting to settle in. The tires are starting to get up to temps, and you know they're starting to get built up to the optimal grip levels in the cars here. So the cars are going to start ripping around the track. The guys are going to settle into their paces now, and it's race on here now. So Doug in the lead. Hair Razor not too far behind, about a second currently. So Doug is definitely making some time up on Hair Razor here currently. Posh Connor is just a couple seconds behind our leaders here currently, but he does have Ibra just sitting back off in the distance here. Now, Ibra is a very patient driver, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit, we'll sit on board with Ibra here for a minute and talk about Ibra here for a minute. And this is just based off of past series and events that we've been a part of here with the GTRC community as our broadcaster. And the one thing I see from Ibra is he's super, super, super patient driver. He understands that this is an endurance race. He understands that tire and fuel matter in this race. He understands that if you go into the pit lane with better tires and more fuel in the tank than the guy ahead of you, you're probably going to jump him in pit lane or at least gain some very, very needed time on that driver, and you're going to set yourself up for that position in the last stint or the last part of your race, or in between stints depending on the size of the race. This is a 1 hour race, ladies and gentlemen, so it's most likely just going to be a one pit stop race for these drivers. But yeah, but what I do see from Ibra is you'll see him be very patient very early on in the race. You won't see him battle too much for position. You'll see if he feels like a guy is quicker than him currently at that point in time on the track, he'll just allow that driver to get by without battling, so both drivers aren't losing time, and he'll just tuck in behind that driver and use that driver to his advantage. He'll save some fuel, he'll save his tires, just, you know, keep it moving, keep it flowing, keep it vibing, keep it riding. And at the end of the race, he's going to be a guy to watch out for, ladies and gentlemen, mark my words. And Monkey Mafia here, too. He's been racing a ton here lately. I see him all over the place around the sim racing markets here. And really getting into the sim racing thing. So he's always a competitor. You can actually see him starting to put the pressure on Ibra here. And we were just talking about this with Ibra. I bet you, if Ibra feels like Monkey Mafia's got the pace, he's going to let him go by so Ibra can use Monkey Mafia to save fuel. And it's a very smart strategy, ladies and gentlemen, for endurance racing. I mean, finding a buddy to work with is always going to pay you dividends over just trying to race the race by yourself. And finding a partner to work with will also help you gain on the drivers in front of you as well. So there's a lot of advantages to being patient. Doesn't always win your races, but being patient definitely keeps you consistent. And Ibra last season always had very, very strong finishes throughout the whole season last season, just being patient and consistent. So where some of these guys are pushing a little bit harder, they're burning their tires up, they're burning their fuel up. You can see Doug here currently with a half-second track limit penalty as well, which he'll have to serve at the designated serving penalty zone, which we'll see when he comes up to it here. So we'll stay on board with Doug, our current leader here in the race, as we're about 7 minutes into the race now, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to have to serve this penalty here, and I believe it is right after this next sector coming up here. As soon as he gets past these corners around the hairpin, then he's got that double hairpin to the left, and you get up the run to, 85R, 75R, whatever they call that corner. That's about where the penalty zone is. So it's a tough spot on Suzuka here for the penalty zone, because that's a point of high speed, and your car automatically gets slowed down at that point. So not only do you lose the half second for the penalty, you probably lose at least another half second getting back up to racing speed as well. So penalties are important not to try not to take, obviously, here at Suzuka. The Suzuka penalties hurt. So we can see Doug here, really flirting with the track right there again. You can see he's pushing right now. He's pushing. He's trying to open that gap up on Hair Razor. So, but sometimes by doing that, when you start to overdrive your car, you make little mistakes. You can see the penalty burning zone right there, right before a very long straightaway. Now watch that time just start dripping. Okay, Doug was 2.1 seconds ahead of Hair Razor when he had to serve that half-second penalty. Now, obviously, he maintained a position, but Hair Razor is still dripping time off that 2.1 second lead from that half-second penalty. That half-second penalty cost Doug about 1.5 seconds there. So it just goes to show it how severe penalties are here at Suzuka. You don't want them. You just don't want them. So now we got a battle for P1 here, ladies and gentlemen. Hair Razor is in that slipstream. You know, endurance racing is quite a bit different, and you see Hair Razor taking a very clean line through T1 and T2 there. And he is on Doug here right now. He is on Doug at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if Doug can keep Hair Razor behind, or if these guys are going to start battling. If these guys start battling here, it's going to give these guys right here a chance to start gaining on the two drivers as well. So things are about to get a little spicy here already very early on in the race, I think, ladies and gentlemen. We got Monkey Mafia here in 5th place. Now, Hair Razor's not a full tilt, hard push all the time racer either. Hair Razor's quite a smart racer as well, ladies and gentlemen. So is Doug. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds here over the next few minutes. And we see Posh and Ibra and Monkey Mafia. They're still all right there with each other. Nobody's really battling right now. All the drivers have kind of opted to just chill out and just run clean lines and keep it together and keep the car in one piece here right now. And just if these three drivers can hook up here, these guys can really start to put a dent into that gap from the leaders. Ooh, Monkey Mafia getting a little bit loose there coming into corner there. Gathered it up real nicely, though, and got a really great exit there, so didn't really lose a whole lot of time on the two cars in front of him being Ibra and Posh Connor. So just outside that slipstream. No, you can see him just getting pulled in here, so he just grabbed enough of it there. He needs to stay in that slipstream right now behind Ibra there, not to lose that pack. He definitely wants to get back up at that slipstream and let those guys just pull him along there. Mr. Pappy, we were just on camera with there just a few seconds ago. Type R here as well in that beautiful black Silvia, and Tyrone Colby here in 8th place currently in the Cleveland Browns liveried up Silvia there. Every livery is a Cleveland Brown livery for Tyrone Colby, so. It's a really well done livery there by Doug too, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, I was just sitting there, kind of looking at the livery and just looking at the detail and the finer details in that livery. It looks really good. Livery, I guess for our more proper English-speaking folks around the world. And you know, Ibra here again, you know, we were talking about this. We've been watching Ibra very slowly gain on Posh Connor here over the last 2-3 laps. And he's just kind of sitting behind him here. Just rolling with the punches currently, as you see Posh actually going semi-defensive around that corner there. And I don't think that Posh realizes that Ibra is not really trying to get past him here. Ibra had a chance right there to make the move on him. And instead you see Ibra just tuck right up in behind a Posh Connor there and start giving them a push. I think in this instance, I think Ibra's patience is hurting him here. I think that he's the faster car out of these two guys, and I think that Ibra just does need to make this move on Posh Connor and let Posh Connor do some pushing. I think Ibra's actually hurting his pace right now and himself right now by actually sitting behind Posh Connor, because Ibra just seems to have better lines and better corner exits currently on the racetrack. So potentially hurting himself here, but we'll see if these guys start shedding down the time. The leaders are about 5 seconds ahead currently, so let's see if this group of 3 cars can really work together here and start to close that gap up. You see that dirty air starting to play into this a little bit there, as you've seen Ibra get a little bit squirrely there. But it looks like Hairraiser and Doug are also kind of doing the same thing up front here again, and they're not battling these two drivers. Hairraiser is just sitting in behind Doug, just kind of giving him a little nudge along. Just, you know, hey, let's keep going, mate. You know, these guys are back there still. So yeah, some interesting strategies at work here today at Suzuka. I love it. We love to see the teamwork. We love to see partnering up. We love to see guys working together to catch the group in front. That's what racing's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Man, it's sometimes you gotta be friends with your enemy or your competitor in order to gain for both of you to gain, or neither one gains. And we see Ibra here is now opting to go ahead and make that move on Posh, but Posh ain't giving it up easily. He's not going to give that position up. Ibra definitely tried to get around him here. And there we go. Great exit by Ibra. As we've seen, Posh went really, really wide on corner exit there. Monkey Mafia is just chilling here right now. He's like, all right, boys. He's like, I'm down with what you guys... Oh, no, and Ibra made a mistake. Oh, no. Ibra does. He spins. He goes sideways. Oh, he kept it together. Yeah, I think he kept that thing out of the wall. Oh, no, that is really, really unfortunate for Ibra there as he's trying to get that car spun around here. And I got, you know, the one thing The one thing that is really, really, really difficult on Gran Turismo 7 is what we see there is getting back on the racetrack after an incident like that. For some reason, you just cannot get the car back on track if you go off track in this game. It takes forever, and we see Ibra dropping all the way to the back of the pack, man. Oh, that's really unfortunate. He was having a great battle there with Bosch. But lots of race left, ladies and gentlemen. We're only 15 minutes in. There's still 45 minutes of racing left. He has plenty of time to catch up to these guys yet. So now Posh is kind of finding himself all alone here in third place. Obviously with Ibra spinning out there, Monkey Mafia had to back off a little bit not to get caught up in the incident there. So Monkey Mafia, pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, now has to work on catching back up to the third place driver Posh Connor there. But you have to, sometimes you just got to keep your car safe. That's the most important thing, right? And that's what Monkey Mafia did there. He just backed off a little bit. He's seen Ibra getting into the grass there and starting to have a problem. So backed out, made sure he didn't make contact there, and he just get through safely, back on with the race. Pappy here in 5th place now. Got Type R's moved up into P6. Tron Kobe's up at the P7, and we got Ibra here now in P8. So, but again, Ibra's been had really good pace here all day long, so we'll see him start to march back up the field, ladies and gentlemen, without a question of a doubt. When we hit about the 20 to 25 minute mark, ladies and gentlemen, we'll let you guys take a look at the tire and the fuel situation from all the drivers. Now, the reason why I don't show that stuff, unless specifically asked to do so by the league, is fair play. I just believe in fair play. Sometimes the drivers are listening into the broadcast while they're racing. Sometimes they have friends watching, cheering them on, and it's just not saying that it happens. But people sometimes try to find an advantage any way they can, so we do it for fair play reasons. So we're seeing the pack kind of open up a little bit here. We're starting to see some of the paces separate from some of the drivers here. Ibra is currently about 4.5 seconds back on Tron here, but I definitely don't think that Ibra is going to be that far back from Tron for too much longer. He had really good pace, so he's just got to settle down and get settled back into the race here, and you just keep hitting his marks. He just made a little mistake there, and I mean, that was just a mistake made due to battling. He got a little bit wide into the corner there and then just caught that edge of that track. We were talking about that at the beginning of the broadcast, actually, as a matter of fact, folks. We were talking about Suzuka, what to expect from this race and what we could see. And I mean, Suzuka is a cruel, cruel mistress, ladies and gentlemen. It can treat you just absolutely amazing. And it can turn around and absolutely just rip your heart out a second later. So you really got to be on point here on Suzuka. It is not for the faint of heart, this racetrack. It's very technical. It's a very quick racetrack. And one little mistake, well, as we've seen, could cause a few positions to be lost. It's just unfortunate as so the game has made it difficult for track recovery after an incident like that. Hopefully that's something that they start to sort out as well here in the future. We see Monkey Mafia is now, he got a great run out of that hairpin there on Posh Connor for 3rd place here. So let's just stick with our 3rd and 4th place drivers, Posh Connor and Monkey Mafia, as we're sitting with Monkey Mafia here currently. And he's starting to catch up to Posh Connor here again. So let's see if Monkey Mafia can make something happen here. Corner by corner, you can see Monkey Mafia is just gaining a little closer on the bumper, getting a little closer on the bumper, getting a little closer on the bumper. He's in the great position here, actually, all with Posh to make a move coming into this final chicane here at the end of this long run. You can see a little bit of damage to the front end of Monkey Mafia's car there, too. That's most likely due to contact due to bump drafting. you know, when you're bum drafting another race car, essentially you're tapping that race car, and what that does is it gives that race car a boost, and then that race car slipstream pulls your car back into him, and you continue the process. Obviously, you don't want to bum draft into a corner or through corners, obviously, but I mean, it's that more an advanced skill. Obviously, it's an advanced racing skill, bump drafting, slipstream driving. But these guys have been doing it very, very well. Ibra's incident, it wasn't a matter of slipstream driving or bump drafting, it was a matter of battling. So, it happens when you battle with drivers. Sometimes you just make a mistake. Posh Connor's making it very difficult for Monkia to find a way through, but by doing that, he's really slowing himself down, and he's just actually going to eventually make it easier for Monkey Mafia to get around him, because eventually he's going to not have an exit speed on the right straightaway. Monkey Mafia is just going to be able to drive around him. So I suspect we're actually probably going to see that here, as long as Monkey Mafia... Oh, there we go. He made that mistake. We were talking about defending. Taking that defensive line, it forces you to take wide exits and slower exits coming out of corners. You can see him defending here again. You see Monkey Mafia looking for the cutback. Ooh, that was a great cutback there by Monkey Mafia. He had 100% planned that, but can he get the power down and get the move done now? He is going to have the inside line coming around the next sector here. If he can stay beside Posh here, Posh is pushing that car to the limits to try and get ahead here. He's not going to. These guys are going side by side through here. That's going to force Posh to hold that outside line around these corners here. That should get Monkey the better run here. And Monkey does get out ahead, so move made. Great setup, great finish there by Monkey Mafia to take that third place position from Posh Connor. Fantastic job by Monkey Mafia. Great job, mate. Give yourself a round of applause there. That was a very well thought out, strategic, and played move there. I'm not sure what happened there. So I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That was a crazy little glitch that just happened there. That was definitely my software. That was not the game. So we are with fifth place driver Happy Pappy here, and we can hear a car just behind Happy Pappy here. So Type R is starting to catch up to Happy Pappy. Tron is starting to catch up to Type R. Where's Ibra? And Ibra's still at about that 4.7 second mark. So Ibra's clearly got a strategy in his mind here for pits, and he's not straying from it no matter where he is on the racetrack here, it seems like. So he's just running very consistent laps right now. He's not really forcing the issue in that car. Alright, so we're at about that point in the race. We're at the 23-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll let you guys have a little peek at what's going on with each of the drivers here through the field as far as the tire and fuel situation goes. So we're almost at the halfway mark. Not quite the halfway mark. We'll say about 42, 43% through the race here. And this is what we're looking at here. I'm not going to say it. We'll just let you guys take a look. Oh, big incident there by Posh. Oh, got into that dirt and got off over the curbing. You know, man, we talked about that, ladies and gentlemen. Did we not just? We talked about that. You get outside into that light green artificial turf, and it is game over here at Suzuka. And we just seen Posh become victim of that. So the one thing we're not going to do, ladies and gentlemen, that we typically do on the broadcast is actually watch the pit stops. And the reason for that is because it's been causing issues in spectator mode. So We're going to be skipping the pit stops here today. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I know you love the great camera angles that we get in the pit lanes to see the liveries, but for the time being, it is causing spectator issues. And as a broadcaster, obviously, we want to be able to bring a great broadcast to you guys. So, unfortunately, for now, we have to just stay out of pit lane with our cameras because it just causes problems for the game. We have a nice little battle developing between Type R and Tro and Colby here now as well. Let's get back to our tires and fuel for you guys. We'll take a look. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Go through the rest of our drivers here. Alright, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tires and fuel situation for all our drivers. Quite a bit of variation between the field there. And be interesting to see what happens here coming through our series of pit stops. So our leader is, from start to finish currently so far, is Doug. He started on pole. He's had the lead right from the whole shot. And he's maintained the lead for 27 minutes of the race now. So looking very strong so far in the first half of the race. Here is Doug Burrow in that Falcon Silvia Touring car. Looking pretty strong there, number 13 driver here. And we've got Hair Razor just behind. Again, not pushing the issue here. He's just keeping close, making sure Doug stays in sight, making sure he's giving himself a chance to give himself a shot for the lead if an opportunity arises here currently. Lots of race left yet though, ladies and gentlemen. We still got 32.5 minutes, so anything can happen yet. We've seen a battle happen there and a driver making a mistake and end up spinning and having all sorts of issues getting back on track. So we're now sitting here with Monkey Mafia, who just made that great move on Posh Connor a little bit earlier there for P3, and so far the move of the day by Monkey Mafia, ladies and gentlemen. That was a spectacular pass he made, man, right from setup to finish. Just great stuff there. Got Pappy here now sitting in 4th place. Happy Pappy's having a really good race here today too. He had a pretty good, solid race the last couple rounds as well. So Pappy's looking comfortable in the Silvia, especially. We got Type R here, and Tron still nose to tail, and who's that in the background? It is Mr. Ibra. So Ibra's now closed up 3 seconds on these two drivers, and he is starting to gain back up on these two guys, as I suspected. Again, lots of props to Ibra. He's a very consistent, patient driver, and even though he made a mistake there, he's just locked back into the race and then doing his laps and hitting his marks, and he's starting to catch these guys up. So he's having a good run here currently. And we see Posh Connor here. Now, Posh Connor, remember, ladies and gentlemen, was the first driver to pit here, so he currently is quite a ways behind, but he's in very clean air, and he's on, I'm sure, fresh rubber. So I'm just speculating, as we don't know. But he has made a pit stop, so I'm assuming that he did take his fuel and tire load while he was in pit lane as well. All right. And you can tell by the sounds of the engines between Hair Razor and Doug, they've got very different braking and shifting patterns going through these corners as well, so that's kind of interesting too. That's an interesting little note I just noticed there. That was a great shot by our TV crew here at Suzuka as well, coming around that hairpin. So we've got Pappy still sitting in 4th place here right now, and we got Troll and Colby now sitting in 5th. So I'm not sure if Type R pit or if he just made a mistake on the racetrack and binned the car. But now Ibra all the way up into P6 here from the back of the pack. We got Posh up into 7, and I'm thinking that he pit, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thinking that Type R has made his round of pit stops here. We're not doing pit stops. Ooh. All right, so we got our leaders of pit. So Doug and Hairraiser have both pit, and well, from what we can see on the screen, Doug has significantly more fuel than Hairraiser does. So that's only going to help Doug in the pit lane, as we see Monkey is opting to continue on here. And rightfully so. We did see that tire and fuel situation on Monkey Mafia. I'm sure he could probably go around for another 10 minutes yet, really, before he absolutely needs to pit, I bet. So we didn't want to look at the pit stops. No. So we see pretty much everybody coming in for the rounds of pit stops here now. We still have a couple drivers that have yet to pit, but Monkey Mafia now in the lead of the race. He is one of those drivers that still needs to make that pit stop here in today's race, and he will do so at some point in time. We're just not sure when. So Doug does manage to come back out into 2nd place here, and he gained about 5 seconds on Hairraiser in pit lane there. So that fuel load making a very, very big difference there. As actually Trone came through ahead of Hairraiser in P3 there. So Hairraiser's also got a car in between him and Doug, but Trone also has to make his pit stop yet as well. So he should be giving that position back up. Now Posh back up into P5. As we've seen, he made a very early pit stop there about 3 laps ago. Pappy now coming out in P6 after his pit stop. We got Type R is up into P7 here, and Ibra in P8, and I believe he just made his pit stop as well. So we'll see Monkey Mafia pits here this time around, ladies and gentlemen, as he is our current race leader. We have 2 cars on the track that have yet to pit. The rest have made their stops. So Monkey Mafia is playing an overcut scenario here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about or know what I mean when I say overcut situations, so typically in a race, when there's a one stop in a race like this race is, you'll see the majority of the drivers all pit on the same lap. Now, what we have seen already in Posh Corner is what we like to call an undercut. And an undercut is when a driver pits a lap or 2 before the rest of the field, gets those fresh tires on a little bit earlier, gets his fuel a little bit earlier, and what that does is it gets that driver into clean air, away from battling, away from traffic, as long as you plan that pit stop or time it right, and it allows them to run fresh laps on fresh tires. So the idea behind it is you're gaining time on the drivers on older tires, on worn out tires, on struggling race cars. So when they go to make their pit stop, if you've made up enough time, that you should jump them while they're in pit lane. So that's an undercut. So what I'm talking about when I say an overcut situation is what we see here with Monkey Mafia. We see Trones now come into pit lane here as well, sitting in P4 there. So what he's opted to do is stay out longer past the general pit stop of the field and try to gain time on the field that way. And then hopefully the idea with an overcut is to build a big enough gap on 2nd place that when you do finally make your pit stop, you can take your tires, you can take your fuel, and still come out in 1st place for the last half of the race or the last quarter or whatever it is that you decide to make your pit stop. So that's what I mean when I say an overcut strategy. So Monkey Mafia is now on an overcut strategy, as well as Trone Colby was, and Trone Colby actually came out into P5 there. So that worked out for Tyrone Colby as he gained a position on that overcut attempt. So it's going to be interesting to see. Currently, we see an 18-second gap between Monkey Mafia and Doug. That's not going to be enough for the overcut to work effectively here currently. I believe it's going to be about 25 to 30 seconds with fuel and tires here at Suzuka. So Monkey Mafia needs to gain more time or just take his pit now before he loses more time to the leaders. Typically, an overcut only works about 1 or 2 extra laps past that original pit stop unless you're going to stretch out a no stop. And I mean, that is... I think it would be very difficult in this race today, but from what I've seen in that first load of fuel and tires is that the potential is there maybe for a no stop to be done. Whether or not it's feasible and it works is a different story. Then we see Monkey Mafia now in pit lane, so you know, sometimes you wonder if the drivers are listening to the broadcast when you say these things, but you know, we're just trying to explain to you guys, the viewers, what we're talking about, so you guys understand what we mean when we say this, and obviously understanding what's going on, it helps it become more enjoyable. So I do my best to try and just explain little things each time we do a broadcast to help new viewers or viewers that don't understand the terminology of racing better understand the terminology of racing. That's what it's all about. It's all about helping each other learn and build and understand and just be a part of something and be a part of a community, be a part of a family in a sense. These communities are families. We all look out for each other. We're always you know, there to help each other when we're down and need a pickup, and it's really, really awesome stuff. So we appreciate all the support, and welcome to everybody who's been tuning in or is tuning in currently. We do appreciate you hanging out with us here today, and keep it rocking, man, because you guys are the reason why we do this, so we love you for it. We see Air Razor's purple right now as he's coming around here. So Doug does come back in the race lead with a 6-second gap on second place's Hair Razor, and Hair Razor is like 23 seconds ahead of Monkey Mafia here. So Monkey Mafia losing a significant amount of time in that overcut attempt there. And he's only 3 seconds ahead of Posh Connor, who's now up into P4 here. So maybe a little battle going to be brewing here between 3 and 4, and potentially 1 and 2 by the end of this race as well. We got Trone here in 5th. He's kind of alone right now. Happy Pappy has a guy starting to close. He has Ibra starting to close in on his back doors here. And we seen Ibra had really good pace early on in the race here, so we do have Type R here just rounding out our field here today. So back up to our leader with Doug. I wish I... Oh my goodness! We got angles! No way! Let's go! On board with our race leader, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic! Fantastic stuff. I am so happy we have got camera angles all of a sudden. Hey! So we're going to do it on board with our leader, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a full lap on board with our current race leader, Doug Burrow. And we're going to give you guys the OP one. We're going to give you guys a new cockpit angle here. So enjoy this lap, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to shut up and just let you enjoy. Great stuff there by our leader, Doug, as we grab that juicy onboard from our race leader there. Oh man, I haven't been able to do that in forever on Gran Turismo 7. I'm excited about having some camera angles here. Let's go. We gotta find some battles now so we can do some camera work for you guys. we can't find any battles. Oh well, maybe we get a little battle here. Let's get with it. Let's get with it. We're on board with Ibra here as Pappy trying to chase him down here. So this is what it's looking like from Ibra's point of view. As you can see that car really gaining in the slipstream here. Pappy's trying to gain. You can see the weather starting to darken here off in the skies too, ladies and gentlemen. Now again, progressive weather is a real thing here in Gran Turismo 7, ladies and gentlemen. The weather does change. The track changes. The temperatures changes. The way the car handles around the racetrack changes. So all these things do factor into these endurance races here now in Gran Turismo 7. You can see we started off, it was real nice and sunny out on the racetrack. Grip was probably a little bit too high, actually. It was probably a little bit greasy. Now the track's starting to cool down. We might actually start seeing these drivers starting to hook up better and actually really start to close down their lap times here. So you can see here as Pappy's lost some time to Ibra through that last sector there. But again, Pappy having a great race here. Whoa, he got on that curbing. He kept it together. Great job by Pappy there not to lose the race car there. Let's go, camera angles. Sorry, simple things amuse this guy. Doug, his lead is diminishing from Hairraiser here currently. He had about a 6.7 second gap last time we were with Doug here. And Hairraiser's now shaved that down to under 5 seconds. So Hairraiser is starting to drip the time off. We have about 17 minutes remaining in the race here. As you can see in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, ladies and gentlemen, that is how far into the race we are. Hairraiser, he's starting to push. He wants to try and get that gap closed up so he has a shot at that P1 position. Monkey Mafia, unless something drastic happens up front here now, really just needs to worry about holding down P3 here. I think he's a little too far away from making anything happen for P1 or P2 at this point in the race, but has a good firm grip on P3 here currently, with a 7-second gap on 4th place driver Posh Connor. So as long as he just keeps it nice and consistent here at this point, he should be okay to bring home that podium. And I believe that'll be his first podium here with the GTRC, if I'm not wrong. In all my time here, I believe that would be his first podium. So he's got to be pretty excited right now behind that race car. But again, you know, that causes issues as a race car driver. I've been there. I remember the first time I won my very first competitive race, and you're on your first, you know, your last 5-6 minutes of the race, and the emotions start to push through you. You're excited, you're happy, you're just overwhelmed. You start to get nervous, your leg twitches a little bit, you start to shake a little bit, you start to sweat a little bit, all of a sudden you start to lose a little bit of focus. So you really got to stay locked in, especially if you're in a pressure situation where you're going to be on the podium and get that podium finish that you've been chasing for a while. You know, it's a lot of things happen as a driver there. I know we're just playing video games, ladies and gentlemen. Here, to a lot of people, this is just a video game. To us sim racers, it's life, man. This is something that we are very passionate about. Most of us can't actually race cars like this in real life because most of us can't afford it, mainly. So this gives us an opportunity to be able to take cars that we dream of our entire lives and get behind the wheel and race these things. So when you're in a competitive race or in a championship series or a league event, It means everything to each and every single driver in here. Yes, we're all here to have fun, but we're also out here to compete, and we love the spirited competition, but there's no better feeling than when you bring home a podium finish, or especially a race win, especially one of your first ones in your sim racing career, man. It's a special moment. It really, really is. So I'm not sure how many podiums Monkey Mafia's had in his sim racing career, but I know here at GTRC it's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's the first one I'm going to see here, so I'm happy for him. I hope he holds it together here. But again, you have a lot of things to start to go through you at this point in the race now. You're looking up at that live timing board all the time. There's so many things that you have going through your head at that moment. I was very fortunate in my first ever competitive race win. I had some of my racing team members in the chat with me because obviously I was live streaming my own races as well, and you know, they were just talking to me and just helping me stay calm and then bring it home. So if you listen to Monkey Mafia, just keep hitting your marks, brother. You got her. Get her done, son. And we always love seeing different people coming on the podiums in these series as well, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Doug and Hairraiser and some of these drivers are very, very strong in the series. They're always front runners, but to see some of these other guys that typically aren't sitting there all the time coming and pushing and putting the pressure, love to see it. We love to see it. That's what it's all about. Ibra, I mean, he's sitting in 6th place here. He's starting to, he's trying to catch up to Tyrone Colby here. He was looking really good early on in the race there. Pappy here in 7th. And Type R here in 8th place. And most of the drivers doing a really great job here at Suzuka today, too, with these Silvias. The only incident that we've caught so far really was the incident by Ibra. For the most part, has been pretty... The guys have done a really great job at treating Suzuka with respect, and it's been respectful back. That's a good way to put it. That's how you got to come into Suzuka if you're going to have a race on Suzuka. You got to come in expecting that you have to treat this racetrack with respect, because if you don't, it will it'll bite you. It really, really will. So... We'll be going live a little bit later tonight here in GT45 Gaming as well, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be doing an ACC broadcast tonight, later on here tonight. But when we do start that broadcast, we are going to sit down and we're going to have a discussion about the state of Gran Turismo 7. And obviously we're going to review what happened here with this race today. And just kind of have an open discussion about things. Oh, we see Pappy just get a little bit wide there. Pardon me, chap. Little mistake, losing a little bit of time, but nothing too major there. So we've seen Pappy, Posh, Connor, and Ibra having small incidents of their own. Well, Ibra's was a fairly large incident, I suppose, but it was a single incident at least. And Doug in control here. He's got a little under 5 seconds from Hairraiser still currently, so... Doug's been working at maintaining that gap here currently, as we have just under 11 minutes remaining here in the race, ladies and gentlemen. So we unfortunately don't really have any battles going on here. So we'll just kind of jump back and forth between the drivers here current for a little bit here, some cameras, and yeah, give you guys a little view of what this game actually has to offer when the stuff works. Honestly, this is the best I think I've ever seen spectator mode work so far in Gran Turismo, man. My camera angles are crisp, they're clean. When you are in a camera angle and you change from one car to the next, it keeps it in that camera angle. There's some positives here today, chat. There's definitely some positives here today. I believe Pappy as well, ladies and gentlemen, is a controller driver, if I'm not mistaken. If my memory serves me correct. You can see the game's still struggling a little bit with the camera switching, but it's working the best I've ever seen it so far since this game's released. This is the best of camera angles I've ever worked switching cars. When you're inside the car anyways, that is. And this is just on PlayStation 4, ladies and gentlemen. So basically what you guys are seeing on the broadcast is a PlayStation 4 version of Gran Turismo 7, streamed through a capture card, on 60 frames per second. What? I know, right? PlayStation 4 is only a 30 frame per second machine. However, my equipment allows me to transfer that data and turn it into 60 frames per second for you guys on the broadcast. So it actually looks quite good on the broadcast. As far as a PS4 stream goes, but wait till we get that PS5 rocking, ladies and gentlemen. You get, I can't wait. The replays are going to be just spectacular. The commentary part of the replays. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. Hairraiser's gained a second on Doug. So Hairraiser is now trying, really working hard to try and close that gap on our race leader here. And with 8 minutes remaining, I don't know if he's got enough time, but let's see what happens here. Took another 10th off just through that sector there. You can see Eber's car really scarred up there from that incident on track, as well as you can really see that paint damage on that right rear fender of that touring car. So some of the drivers having a couple issues with Suzuka, but for the most part, these guys have done really well here on the racetrack today. You can always tell when a car's been in an incident here because of the damage on the car there. So the Type R has been in an incident here as well, as you see. The left rear quarter panel pretty banged up here on this race car. You see a lot of the drivers are taking that short line coming around that pit wall fence there too. Yeah, coming across the start-finish line. Now typically during the races, you know, in the middle of the race, you'll see those drivers really sweep wide around there, and that's just to keep momentum around the corner. But now in this situation, you've seen the drivers really cut that short, and that's to try and just cut time out of the lap. I'm going to see Monkey Mafia do much of the same thing here. No, he's opting to take that fast sweeping line. 4.5 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. 4.5 minutes remaining. We're being a little silent here today, just to let you guys kind of listen to the sounds and just listen to the game and just really enjoy the sound of these cars. For a GT4 car, they sound pretty awesome, so. I do that same thing on that corner all the time, just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, all the time. Can really hear those tires chattering underneath Doug Silvia right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to show you guys the tire and fuel for the end of the race. We are going to leave that secret. But you can definitely tell just by listening. That the tires are starting to work. I mean, Hair Raiser could see Doug there, but he just isn't close enough to make anything happen there. We see Trowan having to make a pit stop there, as he's only on 1% fuel, so miscalculating his fuel range there, and that's definitely going to cost him here, unfortunately. We got Monkey Mafia here as well. And I mean, you're hearing very little tire chatter out of Monkey Mafia's car here, so he is being very nice to his tires. I feel like Posh is shifting just a hair too soon for this car. I feel like he's hurting the car's power range, shifting it where he's shifting it. You can hear it bog down just a little bit when he shifts. That's losing you speed and time. And I mean, Ibra's now grandfathered up in the 5th place there due to the fact that Trowan had to pit for fuel, so can Ibra catch Posh Connor up there 4 seconds up the road as well, I guess, is the next question. But to our race leader, ladies and gentlemen, as we are winding down here today in our 60-minute endurance race, this is certainly going to be the last lap here for our drivers today. So we're going to stick with the race leader here as he's coming around Suzuka for the final time here today. And again, this is round 2 of the Silvia Touring Championships here at the GTRC, ladies and gentlemen. Round 1 was a doozy, it really was. I don't have the standings in the stream here because I didn't have time to get them in time before I had to go live, so my apologies, that's my fault. I was having issues with getting into my computer this morning, so but we're here, we're live, and we got this race to you guys today, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised about the spectator mode today, so that's a really good thing coming out of my mouth currently with how I feel about this game currently. So at least I can still provide great commentary for the fans out there that are enjoying the GT7 races. And that's the important thing. That's what matters the most. You guys are enjoying it. You guys are having fun, and we can provide a proper broadcast. That is the most important thing for the fans and the viewers watching. So. And we're coming around our final corners here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Hair Raiser has been pushing. He has been trying to catch Doug all day long, but Doug just had enough in him to keep that guy behind today, and Doug is going to come around here. Oh, he almost blew it with the race win. Congratulations to Doug on a great race win there. Hair Raiser coming around in 2nd place with a great push. And Monkey Mafia, I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super, super excited about this. I am absolutely thrilled for Mafia here today. They hit that podium here today at Suzuka in this round 2 of the Tour Championship. I'm very, very happy for Monkey Mafia. Very happy for him. Can't wait to do his interview. Again, 3rd place. Congratulations, Monkey. Well deserved 3rd place, my guy. We got Posh Connor coming around here now as well. He's just coming around the final corner here. And he has Ibra nipping. And Ibra is right there behind him. You can hear Ibra. There he is right there in the picture. So Posh is going to come around in 4th. Ibra's going to take P5. We got Trone. He is now coming around. He's going to come in P6. You can take a lot of curb in that chicane too, ladies and gentlemen. You can take a lot of that curbing. Don't be scared. You can take a lot of that curbing. Great race finish there by Trone. Unfortunately, he had to stop for fuel there, as he would have got a couple more positions potentially there, but is what it is. Still coming in 6th place. We got Pappy coming around in 7th. And we got Type R just rounding out here, just behind Pappy, coming in 8th place. So great job by all the guys on track here today. That was a great race. Really good job by all our drivers here today. Suzuka's a tough track. So yeah, we quite pleased today, man. These guys did really well out there today. It was some good racing. Looked like these guys were enjoying themselves, and that's what matters. So, the best part, ladies and gentlemen, podium interviews. So we're going to flip you over to a screen here for a second. Don't go anywhere. Drivers will be back in about 1 minute here with some podium interviews for you guys. So don't go anywhere. Don't run away.
Well done, Monkey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we got our drivers here, and we're going to do some interviews. So we're going to start with Monkey Mafia. Just obviously, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty thrilled for Monkey Mafia. I believe, since I've been commentating for the GTRC guys, this is his first podium here with them, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, however. So congratulations, Monkey. A great race, and talk us through it, man. Is he there?
Yeah, thank you. It was an interesting one. Yeah, definitely my first podium. Just last season, I was happy to not be dead last, so I've really found a groove here and been able to pick up my pace, and I find the Silvia to fit my driving style about perfect.
You were looking really good out there. I mean, you were caught up behind Posh Connor and Ibra there very early on in the race, while those two were... They weren't really battling, I guess, early on in the race. They were actually, it seemed like they were working together to try and close that gap up on Doug and Hairraiser, but that really gave you the opportunity to just kind of sit back, chill out, hang out, and it turned out that Ibra ends up getting a little bit wide on the racetrack, spins the car out. You have to back off a little bit, obviously, not to get caught up in the incident, and then made just a beautiful pass on Posh Connor there when you took third place. By far the move of the day. That was a great setup from start to finish, that pass, and very, very well thought out. So talk us through that as you were kind of catching up to Posh Connor there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. As soon as I saw them, I knew Doug and Razor were going to kind of pull off on us. So I was just kind of cruising, just playing the race out. And then after Ibra went around, I decided it was time to go so I could get out in front before the pit stops. And I had played it for about 3 laps, just following him, trying to figure out the spot to do it, and finally found it. And great racing by him. I mean, side by side for quite a while there, and able to pull it off, and then just held on to it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just turned out he made just a couple of very minuscule mistakes in a couple of the corners there, and it was just enough for you to start to open up that gap on him there. So I'm absolutely thrilled for you. It was a great drive. Your strategy was very sound, and I can say now that the broadcast is over, you had the best looking tires and fuel out of the whole pack today. So
yeah, definitely. That's something I really pride myself on, is being able to manage tires and fuel, not so much, but tires, yeah, I definitely focus on that because it always helps out in the end.
Absolutely, and it's just a great race. I know when I first got my first podium finish in my sim racing career. I know you have a lot of things going through your mind in that last 10 minutes of the race. Were you thinking about that while you were racing, or were you just really dialed in and just focused on what was going on?
Pretty dialed in. I've been racing F1 on sim now for a couple of years, and been in plenty of situations there where it kind of helps you out, and you just kind of get in that groove and just hit your marks, and that's all you got to worry about. Honestly, I was kind of hoping Doug and Razor would get racy with each other, and maybe just have a slip up and I could catch them.
Absolutely, I think you would have been able to put some good pressure on the two of them too if the situation were different, where you guys were just a few a slipstream distance apart from each other. I think that could have played out completely different. Gained another spot or two. You had good pace today, so congratulations, man. I'm super thrilled for you. So anybody you want to shout out?
Of course, Drink Alchemy, my esports team that I race with. Kind of new, we're fresh to it, but really growing, and like I say, for me on GT, just been picking up pace lately, so enjoying that.
Awesome. Congratulations, mate, and enjoy the first podium here at the GTRC. It's definitely well earned.
Definitely, thank you.
Awesome. Great job by Monkey Mafia, ladies and gentlemen. And again, like I said earlier in the broadcast, definitely by far the pass of the day on the racetrack today as well. So give yourself a round of applause. Just a well done race today, Monkey. We're going to move up to Hair Razor. We talk to these guys a lot here at the GTRC in these series events, our first and second place finishers. So we're going to jump over to Hair Razor. My man, great race there. You were having a great battle with Doug in the first half of the race there. And then when you guys made your pit stops, like Doug was saying a little bit earlier before the interview started there, just the fuel difference kind of gave that gap to Doug. And you did everything you could to really close that gap up. I mean, you were shedding that gap down there in the last 10 laps of the race, but unfortunately just a little too much to overcome. So talk us through your race today.
Yeah, I was doing really well on the first stint of it. Of course, Doug's a really fast driver as well, and oh my god, yeah, and trying to keep up and push, and with all the cars being similar pace as well, it was very hard to try and get that little bit past him. But yeah, you're right, in the pit stops, I thought we was probably evenly matched on fuel, but oh boy, he saved some fuel. So it was hard to catch up because I was like 7.5 seconds behind, and I thought, oh my god, I'm going to have to push here. Of course, with third place, I didn't know how far Monkey was behind me, and oh dear, I pushed it as far as I could, but I just couldn't get there, and probably with about 2.5 to 3 seconds left before the end. But yeah, I did give it all she could.
And it was a great effort. It really was a great effort. We were hoping you were going to close up there. We were hoping that you guys were going to be battling across the finish line for that position there. But unfortunately, Doug just had your number here today.
He did indeed. Me too. I wish I was trying to get that little battle at the end. That's what I was hoping for, but it never came off.
Absolutely. And I mean, all in all, today was actually a really great race here on Suzuka. There was very few incidents on track today as far as all the drivers go. Just a couple singular incidents for drivers just making small mistakes. But other than that, you guys did a really great job here at Suzuka. And we all know this track can be very, very cruel to race car drivers. So
yeah, it's a very tough track indeed.
Absolutely. Shout outs, anybody you want to thank here, Razor?
Yeah, I'd just like to say congratulations to Doug and, of course, Monkey, and also the rest of the drivers, and also my fans. Thank you, and yourself.
Cheers, cheers. Great job, and we'll see you next week for the GT3 Championship.
Looking forward to it, mate.
Awesome. And our first place finisher, ladies and gentlemen, you guessed it, it's Mr. Doug. Having a real
fuel saving. After I got that fastest lap, just started fuel saving, and I just thought I'll keep the fuel saving. I'll keep the fuel saving. You know, scrub a bit of time to save my tyres a bit, because it's a big issue for me with tyre wear. I mean, you mentioned you would like to have seen a race in the last 10 minutes or so between me and Razor. I was dreading it. I was seeing him closing up, but my tyres are obviously being on the pad, and I scrub my tyres quite badly. I was just hoping to keep that gap where it was. So yes, you know, give up a bit of speed for a bit of time.
tire situations from all the drivers midway through the race. Your tires and Hellraiser tires were very, very, very close in the same amount of wear. So don't cut yourself too short on your tire wear, because over the progressiveness we've seen you guys, I've seen your tire wear get better and better. So keep doing what you're doing, because it's obviously it's definitely working for you, because you keep winning races, man.
I just didn't push as much as I'd normally push early on. After, like I say, after about lap 3, I eased off. After about 5-6 laps, the tyres, if you keep pushing, the tyres on a pad go really, really quickly. To keep it smooth, listen for that scrubbing, feel for that scrubbing, and try and open up the steering every time I feel it. So, you know, I just tried to control the tyres in that race. All I was thinking about. I nearly fell off at the end, very last corner. I thought I'll swing wide, do a bit of weaving on the way in, and swung too wide. 2 wheels on the grass. I thought, oh no, I'm gone. And luckily I kept it together, so result.
Yeah, right. Well, great job, man. That was it's always tough being a race leader, because as the race leader, obviously you have to keep the rest of the field behind you. You got to set the pace, and you got to be picture perfect when you're a race leader, especially for the whole to take home the win here again today. So great job, congratulations, enjoy that juicy race win, and shoutouts, thank yous.
Just a thanks to everybody involved. Well done to Monkey and Razor for their finishing. Properly well done to Monkey. That was, you know, a great race had by him, and you know, hopefully he can bring some of his boys